And the Electoral Commission is considering conducting elections this week for the electoral areas whose elections were put on hold on the September 1 District Assembly elections.
Director of Elections at the Commission says voting took place in over 95% of the electoral areas across the country.
Elections in some electoral areas across the country were put on hold for security reasons, printing mistakes on the electoral materials and delays in arrival of electoral materials. The Director of Elections at the Commission, Samuel Tete, says elections in most electoral areas were successful except for few which would have their turn soon.
There were one or two challenges, but the Commission is meeting on that. So when they have actually set a date, they will ask the district officer to do some publicity over there to inform the electors about the new date.
He also explained why there were printing mistakes on some electoral materials in some electoral areas.
When we are printing the ballots, we have EC officials at all the printing houses. So when the ballots are printed, they are expected to check them. They develop a plate, all right. And when the plates are developed, the EC officials at the printing house is expected to check and effect all corrections. After they have done that, it moves to the final point for the ballots to be printed. The first thing that we normally use to check is the notice of pool. If the notice of pool is correct, it means that the ballots will also be correct.
Some election watchers have suggested that printing of electoral materials should be decentralized to reduce transportation cost and delay in distribution of electoral materials to electoral areas. Director of Elections Samuel Tete explained some issues must be addressed before printing of the electoral materials would be decentralized.
It is not that we have just centralized the printing of ballots in Accra, but because we are not getting printers in the regions. So if we do a search and this time around we get printers who are very good, who can print the ballots, then we can look at that. And the other aspect is also the security of the ballots, which is very, very important.
The Commission explained that there were delays in the arrival of electoral materials in some polling stations because there were no officials at the time of the arrival of the materials. But he assured measures have been put in place to avert recurrences.